Hey guys, good morning. Jason, what are you looking for? I can see you. Oh, yeah, blow kisses to my people. Mwah. Hi guys, how you guys doing today? I hope you're doing fine. We're on our way to church, and I just thought to film this video in case you have, you're probably at the point where you're trying to make a decision about what kind of house should you get if you're coming into the UK, or maybe you're relocating. For husbands, you should get what you can afford. I didn't see that coming. But really, the question is usually around, should it be an apartment or a house? So a lot of people ask that question, and somebody even reached out to me because we moved from an apartment to a house, and somebody actually reached out to me that, oh, why did you move from the apartment you were living, things like that. you know the person knows me personally, so I was able to like answer. And I just thought to do this video as well because somebody else has also asked me. The person is actually also coming into the UK this month of September, and she was like, I'm just going to go ahead and give like the pros and cons. And so then, guys, as I was saying, when we moved into the UK, it was so difficult getting any kind of house. It was really difficult, and that was simply because we don't have like, at that point we didn't have a job in the UK, a UK paying job. Number two, we don't have like reference in terms of job, in terms of where you have lived before, which is necessarily supposed to be in the UK. Jezreel. Kilo pẹ̀lẹ́rìn. It's okay, darling. Yeah, take.
Two weapons not fashion the yesterday.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe fídíò yìí in peace. As I was saying, guys, there are so many things that you need to already have for you to be able to successfully get an apartment or a house in the UK. So because we're new, we didn't have all of those things, and it was pretty difficult trying to even choose a choice. So at that point, we didn't have a choice. We just wanted a house. My husband was always going for viewing, trying to like, okay, let's check this place out, let's see if they would collect us. At the end of the day, it was actually referral that got us where we actually stayed at first. It was an apartment, I think about 5 floors, with about maybe about 30 or 40 different apartments in the same building. Yeah, so it was managed by a letting agency, and it was also a no, so it's in bed and all those things. It was also a furnished apartment. So we have the furnished, we have the unfurnished. Usually apartments are somewhat furnished. Some of the apartments are fully furnished, while some apartments are partly furnished. But it is very impossible for you to see an apartment that is not partly furnished. Worst case scenario. But you see houses, you can find a house that is not furnished at all. And when I mean furnished, I mean no fridge, no freezer, no dishwasher, no washing machine, no nothing. But most of the time when you get to see an apartment, at least rírú ẹ̀rí, they will have fridge, freezer with less, like, no matter how bad it is, you would find a fridge, freezer. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù, why ti kẹ́ ìfi wọlé báyìí? Obìnrin ni, má bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀. Lórí express fa. Look at that. If you say you bata o, what is it saying you nonsense? As I was saying, guys. So we have the furnished and we have the unfurnished, and most of the time, the furnished apartment is always good, especially if you're just moving in. One of the reasons why we went for the furnished apartment was because we were just moving in, and we also didn't have so much money to set up. Let me, before I even get to that point, one thing I want you guys to notice: if you're just coming in, there is high tendency that the landlord or the letting agent will ask you to pay beyond 1 month rent. Usually, if you're in the UK, you are mandated to pay your house rent as you go. So you pay for the first month, you use the first month, you pay for the second month, you go like just like that. But if you're just moving in, they might ask you to say, "Oh, come and pay for 6 months up front." In fact, they asked us for 1 year up front. Such F1 tray. Hey, this letting agent, they asked us for 1 year up front. 1 year up front of a house of £925. One bedroom apartment. One kitchen, one sitting room, one bedroom, and one toilet with one balcony. £925 per month. That is another thing. This video is just all over the place, but just pick the one that you need. Apartments are usually very expensive because most of the time they are around the city center. Yeah, ours was actually like in the city center. If I do say so myself, if you are in our place, you'll be seeing BBC, you'll be seeing. So I guess that also contributes to the high cost of rent because we're living in a city center. So usually apartments are more expensive. For that same amount, we could have gotten a 2 bedroom or even a 3 bedroom in a rural area, not the city center. So you just have to, count the cost. Number one, which a landlord or which letting agent is willing to give you a place, at least for the first 6 months. You're just coming in, you don't really know left from right in terms of what is obtainable. Number two, you're not even sure if they are going to give you. The places that we applied to at first, they didn't give us. This one was a referral from somebody that we know that works in the agency. Who we also had people, we also had a few of our friends now who was actually living in the same apartment. They also got a place in the apartment, so it was easy for us to say, "Oh, how did you do it?" Putting our best foot forward, and then the fact that we were willing to pay 6 months up front, that was one of the things that gave us that opportunity to actually get that place. We were able to secure the place in like 2 or 3 a week or two. It was just that we needed to wait to move in because the moving date was, I think the moving date was like in 2 weeks time or a week time. I can't remember, but yeah, that was it. We paid 6 months up front, and that was one of the reasons that was one of the things that actually helped us to actually be able to secure the place. So you might have to probably plan ahead, if in case you might, if you have the funds, it will help you to be able to get the place, because there are so many people that are also bidding for it just as you are. I think the only place that we did not have to like bid for is where we are right now, and that's because of the price. If you're looking for a place that, if you go to view a house and you see about 6 7 8 more people coming to view that same house, you will need to do more to be able to be the one to get the place, because other people that are with you, they even have more advantage than you do. Maybe they've been in the UK for long, maybe they currently have jobs and they are able to get references from their job, and so many things. So if you're telling a letting lady that, "Oh, I'm paying 6 months up front," they'll say, "Yeah, kukuma, take the house now." So it will increase your chances of getting a house. That's number one. Number two, even if you have not lived in the UK for a long time, you need to be able to provide reference of somebody that has been living in the UK, that has a job in the UK. That person is able to stand as your reference. which would also increase your chances of, getting the place. So why did we choose apartment at first when we first moved in? Number one, that was the only place we could get. We tried to, like, you know check so many places. It was even difficult. So it was like, this one that decides to give us with our 6 month upfront rent, shall give us, let us collect it. No, but because we were really desperate, we wanted a place. As a family, you just want a place of your own, if you get what I mean. It will not make sense to now be, you see a lot of people staying in Airbnb and all. When you first shall come, shall, there's always that, getting a place, and it can really be difficult. But I hope these tips helps you to make that decision. When you first come, at least the first 6 months, is not the time to probably be saying, oh, I was living in a 3 bedroom in Nigeria, then I have to live in a 3 bedroom in the UK, which is not bad. But I think the priority at first when you first move in is getting a place to lay your head as a family. That is it. And then number two, we realize that most of the time apartments are already furnished, and it is easier to move into an apartment than to move into a house. The apartment that we got was already furnished, so we didn't need to move in with bed, we didn't need to move in with chair, we didn't need to move in with fridge, freezer, we didn't need to move in with oven or cooker or anything. So when we got the keys to the house, we just went to, I think we went to Asda that day now. It was Asda we went to that day, and then we got, bed sheet, bedspread, duvet, microwave, plate. I can still remember that day in my head like this. Ah, God. Thank you, Jesus. We bought chicken, we bought cutleries, things like that. And then we went home, and then it was late in the night. We cooked, we ate, and we slept. Whew! It was really, really amazing. So, what was I saying? We wanted a place where we would not need to be buying a bed, because at that point we had already paid 6 months upfront. Don't even come with buying. We only wanted to buy things that were important and of necessity. So we didn't want a situation whereby we are getting a place and then we are just buying bed, we are just buying, so many things. No. So that was one of the reasons why we went for a furnished apartment. And we know we can only get that in a furnished apartment. You can't get that in a house. If you get it in a house, I don't know how you did it, but you can hardly find a house that is fully furnished. But you will definitely find an apartment that is either partly or fully furnished. So if you're just coming in, you might want to go for something that is like a partly furnished or fully furnished, until you find your food very well, and then you're able to choose that, oh, we want to go to a house now, and then we'll be able to buy things. And then another reason why we wanted an apartment was also because we weren't so sure of, where my husband was going to get a job, where I was going to get a job. There were high tendencies that he was going to get a job around the city center. Yeah, so it was easy for us to say, oh, let's just stay here. And another thing was the fact that we had family, we had our friends that were already living in that same apartment. We had just come in, so we felt like, oh, it was actually not going to be bad having people around, building that community. So yeah, but the primary reason of it all is that it was that apartment that gave us a chance. Hey, Israel, it was that apartment that gave us a chance. If any other place had given us a chance, all of this reason would have been invalid or nearly invalid. So yes, but what are the cons? Number one, it's an apartment. It doesn't, you, so because of the way it is, you have to use the lift to get to your house, to your side of the apartment every damn time. If you are not climbing the stairs, you're using the lift, and it can really be stressful, especially on some days where you have to, like, carry a lot of load. Maybe we have just gone shopping, and then you have to carry everything upstairs. Sometimes it can really be stressful. And then it's an apartment, there is no garden, there is no, you can't say you want to come out and get fresh air. Although you can come to the balcony, but that's all that you can get. So when we, and then another thing is the apartment that we were staying, for you to be able to park underground of the same building that we are paying for, you have to pay a certain amount monthly. Help me make it make sense. Help me make it make sense, guys. Why do I have to pay £925 per month for a rent of a one bedroom, and I still have to pay £50 monthly to park my car? Not two cars, or just one car at the underground. It doesn't make sense. And same as so many cons that come with staying in an apartment, you don't really get that feeling, that vibe of staying in a house. It's totally different. So that was why when our even before our contract expired, we already got another place, even though that came with another con, because you can, if once you sign an agreement for 6 months, you have to stay until 6 months until you leave. If you're going to leave before 6 months, then you will pay until the 6 months elapse. If you have signed a contract for 1 year, you have to use the 1 year and pay for the 1 year. Even if you leave after 2 months, you have to pay for 1 year. You have to pay until your contract expires. So we had to do that for, I think, a month or two, yeah. But we didn't mind because we also didn't want to lose out on the place we found. We found a house which is a lovely, lovely, lovely 4 bedroom. Amazing. The compound is great. The garden is lovely. It has its own parking space. It has its own, mini garage. It has its own garden. So many things that we love, which was just how we wanted it. So we didn't want to lose out on that place because we already found a place like 2 months, no, 4 months before our rent was going to expire over there. We lost out on it because somebody else got it. But this time around, we were willing to like pay two rents at the same time, if you get what I mean, just so that we don't lose out on that. And it has been amazing. You can easily go into the garden and play. We have more space now. I would term that time that we were in the apartment as days of little beginning. Because indeed it was little beginning. And then one of the reasons why we also had to like leave before time was because Jezreel was coming. We didn't want Jezreel to come and meet us in that house because there was no space. I did, looking back now, I'm thinking, how did we even cope for nearly 1 year in a one bed? There was definitely no space, but it was days of little beginning, and we were willing to like, okay, God is taking us to a bigger space to the glory of God. We are here now. We know that there is even much more where this came from. So yeah, that's it. The moral of this story, the moral of this story is that at first you might have to start where you are. You might not be able to like get that desired place immediately, especially so if you get it, to God be the glory. It is possible. There are people who come in and even get a house, but situations differs. For us, we were not ready, because even if we are going to like furnish a house, we want to be able to furnish a house to our taste. But at that time we didn't have the resources to say, oh, it's a house that we want to be using it to furnish. So furnished apartment was like the best bet for us. And when we were now ready to move into our four bed now, we were able to like you know decorate, buy bed, buy so many, a lot of buy. If you are going into a house that is not furnished and you are just coming, it's a lot of buy. Especially if it is now even winter. Ah, it's a lot of buy. So you might just want to like count your cost and be sure of you know what you want to do. And yeah, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you're able to like pick one or two things from either going to an apartment or going to a house. The both of them are actually a beautiful experience. When we were living in an apartment, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it because like it was just us. We were like really closely knitted because if you are not in the sitting room, you are in the bedroom. If you are not in the bedroom, you are definitely in the toilet. And if you are not anywhere there, then you are outside of the house. Unlike now that you can be in different rooms, in different, so many things. But even at that, I just said that to say that there are seasons and there are times to these things. And if you're just coming in into the UK and you're coming across this video, I hope you're able to make an informed decision based on what you've heard and coupled with your research as well. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Signing out on Car Chronicles.